Hello and welcome to UI Builder Live. This is the show where we try to do things in UI Builder and are sometimes successful. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and do some introductions.
Hello, my name is Maria Gabriela. A lot of you may know me as MGOPW or Gabi. I forgot to bring something onto the show. Oh no. But I'm a Next Experience PM.
And my name is Brad Tilton. I am also a product manager on our outbound Next Experience team. I cover lots of products, but UI Builder is one of them. And so, yeah, we're going to get into it today. And I think Gabi has something special planned. And I don't think it's turning invisible. So I think she's going to come back. But she's got something special planned for us today. We'll be in UIB. And then I think we'll have some time for questions. I see a question in the chat already about getting sysid and table from the parent tab. I do actually know how to do that, but we can address it if we get there. And if not, I can post a resource. I think we have something published that shows how to do that. Nice. I love the tiara. That's great.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is Gabi's Birthdaystravaganza month. The month where I try to do something in UI Builder and ideally get minimal help from Brad, but we have the Brad lifeline. We get 3 lifelines, y'all. We got this. We got an Ask the Chat, we got Call a Friend, and we got Ask Brad. Let's see how many times each of them gets used. So let's go ahead and share my screen. So what we're going to try to do today is we are going to try to make a Wishlist application so everybody can get me all the gifts that I want. We have the blank page here, and now the scariest part, getting started.
So you have an experience created already? Is it a portal or a workspace?
It's a portal.
All right. And so is this the first page in the experience? Or no, you probably created it with App Engine Studio. So we've got lots of pages. Is this going to be the home page?
Yes, this is what we're going to do right now is we're going to find the, we're going to list out the wish lists first. And then when we click on a wish list, I want to show all the items on a wish list. I thought we had a container.
There is. It's the third one.
It is this one. Awesome. And then I'm going to add a heading. And I'm going to select no preset. And let's name this Gabi's Birthdaystravaganza wish list app. There we go. Now, what I want to do is I want to add another container. And I'm going to add here a repeater. See, I completely forgot the name of the application. We're not doing that. We're doing WishHub. The successor to Integration Hub and all the other hubs.
Can you request? It'd be great if you could request a new Integration Hub spoke with WishHub, or you could
listen here. Listen here. That's called scope creep. We try to stay away from that where I come from.
My apologies. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done any sort of delivery work. So,
so I like cards. So we're going to create a card. And I'm really honestly just setting up all the pretty UI stuff so I can postpone creating the data resource for as long as possible. But we just hit it. I have to go make it because I need a label from the table.
So you've selected none on the presets a couple of times. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what a preset is. So we have a number of components that are built in a way where they have these presets, which basically mean that there's a controller, which is a kind of data resource where if you say use a preset, it's going to automatically pull in a data resource. And so most of the presets that we have right now form related. There will be more, more components. We'll have presets later on, but most of them right now are really for building a form. And so, a lot of times you don't actually want that preset, and that's where you can go in and tell it, hey, I don't want to use a preset. Just let me do all this stuff myself and don't add a controller.
Thank you. I didn't even stop to think about what they did. I just was like, get out of my way. Let's go. So now I need to make a data resource. So I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to scroll down to global. What are all these? These are all just scoped applications in
They are organized currently. Let's say currently they are organized by scoped application. So searching is probably the best way to find something, but global has all of kind of the ones that you'd want to use for the most part.
And I'm assuming the difference between lookup record and records is that this one will give me everything it returns, and this one just stops at the first one?
Yeah, they're like super different in functionality, only one letter different in naming, which is kind of problematic. But yeah, lookup records is basically a multi-record search, and lookup record, you give it a sys ID and it brings you one back.
Oh, interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and select the table. There should be a wish list table here. And I want to add some fields. Now, I'm going to click on add to return fields, and I want to see my wish list T and get their photo. And I want to get their name too. Oh, I like that it saved my spot there. That's nice of it. So now I can see here I've got Earl's birthday and I've got Gabi's birthday. And we've got all my information here. So now, in order to use this, I'm going to grab this here and click this handy copy button.
I love the copy button. That was a great, I think that was a Utah thing.
It took me by surprise. It's really nice, actually. And now I need to go to the repeater. And this is actually really helpful. This setting up repeating components, I kept coming back to this while I was trying to learn over and over and over again. And it's really helpful because it tells you item.value. You know that thing that it looks like every time we hit this point in the video, Brad just remembers by magic? It's here for you to remember too.
Yeah, we're trying to do more and more in-product help when it comes to UI Builder. So telling you how to do things while you use it. But this is good feedback. If we have any of the UIB PMs or developers on the call, note this.
So I put the data array here, the result of it, and now it tells me this little handy button shows that there's 2 items, which is what I expect. So I'm going to go into my heading, and this is the fun part. Now we go and change this to be a data bind there, and we're going to start dot walking. Now, is this always going to be reliable? Maybe not, but I want the photo. It's always, how do I get the photo? We got to look at our, but it's always good when it autofills for you.
Yes, but it's not autofilling right now. So there are some places right now where the IntelliSense, there's kind of a disconnect between what some of our components and data resources spit out in the IntelliSense that UIB can see. It is like something we're actively looking at right now. I was actually on like 2 calls this week where we were talking about it. That is, just because it doesn't show up in the IntelliSense doesn't mean that you can't like use the thing. If that makes sense.
That makes sense to me. So now I'm going to right click, which is a new Utah feature. And I'm going to add another container, add a divider. And then I want to add another component after this, and I want to add a photo. We're going to see if it works. Wait, no, I want image.
So there is a question in the chat around making like the UX page registry more friendly. I think so. We're in the quiet period right now, so we can't be very specific about what's happening in the future. But Utah or Vancouver EA does come soon. But we are kind of looking at how can we do more things within UIB without having to go out to the classic environment to configure things. So it's definitely kind of our long-term goal and strategy to bring more into UIB so you're not constantly kicked out of it.
So I went ahead and added our image, and I've got item.value.wishlist dot reference photo display value. And I hit save, and now let's see if it worked. Look at that. It worked. Perfect.
The giant Earl. I love it.
I see nothing wrong with this. Oh, and look, it's me.
Yay.
Yay. We're getting somewhere now. I didn't tell Earl that he was going to be here. Now, I wonder. Here we go. Let me see if I do a small size. Will this? You're the one who sent me the high quality image. Yes.
You've been hacked, Earl. I think that size property could. Oh no, it's already small.
Yeah, I set it to
Oh no,
small.
that's card-based container. I think in the image you can set some stuff.
Oh, we have to set the image size.
Because there's a fit. That's what it is. So you can tell it to scale down or. Yeah, so I guess the image was fill. So if you want to do it the fill way, you'd have to make the container smaller.
That's like a jump scare. Boo. That's mean, Earl.
I'm always ready these days.
Let's see. Let me put hard-coded height. And let's see what this looks like now. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I want Jesslyn said something earlier, pretty over functionality, and I completely agree. The prettier your thing is, the less people will notice the functionality is broken.
Or it takes longer, at least.
Exactly. It takes a little bit longer. So now what I'm going to do is I've got them, and I'll worry about them spanning the sides later, unless I can do something for the repeater. Oh, no. I guess we have to do the styles here.
There's two ways you can do it. So you can turn the repeater into a container where it repeats itself, but you already have that card container, so I think that'll work, maybe. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted them to be little cards next to each other.
Like horizontal?
Horizontally.
I think if that container to flex, if you change the flex direction to horizontal, what would it do that?
Oh, here it is.
It's down a little bit. Yeah. And then you may have to tell the card container to have a width, but maybe it'll just work.
It'd be nice if it just worked. Look at that. It just worked. Neat. Perfect. So now I guess I've delayed this long enough. I'm going to have to use one of my chat laugh lines. Okay, guys, if I want to make these things clickable, what do I do? Help me out. I think I have to do something here with an event. But what does the chat think? I'm not going to format my hard drive, Earl. Let me grab a magnet real quick and just run it over my laptop a couple times. Thank you for keeping count, Ailey. Okay, so let's set up an event. Oh, and it's right here. Card clicked. And then
page added.
Perfect. 3 times. Perfect. I'm glad everybody's paying attention. That was just a test. I totally knew the answer, and I just wanted to see if everybody else knew. So I guess let's try a modal. I don't think I've ever gotten to mess around with those before. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I like modals. So first you need to create a modal.
So I can't just add my event right now?
Yes. So in UIB, a modal is a modal is a thing that you create and then you fire it somehow.
Okay.
I think you got that viewport modal because you added a preset component, and part of the record page is that modal container. So you could, you're doing the right thing, just adding another one here.
Okay. And do I want custom iframe or viewport modal?
So good question. So alert, confirm, and destroy are all like standard JavaScript methods where you just kind of tell it what you want in the middle. I don't think we want that. So custom is basically like you're going to configure this all in UIB on your current page. So it's if you want this modal to just be on the current page and configure it with what's on the current page, you'd use that. Iframe is obviously it's an iframe in the modal. So if you had like a UI page or something that's not a UIB page you want to put in there, and then viewport, you would put a page collection inside the modal that you could then use in other viewports. But custom is generally what I end up doing when I'm creating a modal.
Awesome. I wonder if I can, there we go. So I assume I can put stuff here.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with the custom modal is you have to do all the buttons yourself as well. So if you want like an OK cancel, you have to add those buttons manually and then tell them what they need to do.
Oh. So now I think I need another. Yeah, I need another data resource if I want to look up my items inside of my wish list now.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I change the resource ID of a data resource? Will that break anything? Let's find out.
I think it may.
Yay!
But yeah, you may have to rebind it to the repeater, but be great.
Let's see what happens. My favorite moment of any episode, any show, anything I've ever done truly has got to be in Lady Coding Happy Hour when we were looking at UI Builder for the first time, and it was me, Ashley, Paige, Sharon, and we go in there and both Ashley and I are doing something and I hit save and she refreshes and her whole page is gone. Kind of like our page right now. It's gone.
I remember that was the versioning thing where you...
Yeah, the versioning thing where we ended up having to go into the record in the background and pull up another version of the page. It was great.
Ashley's here.
Hey, Ashley. So yeah, it turns out, kids, everybody watching at home, only one person should be in a UIB page at any given moment. So you'd avoid weird little things like that. That
is an important thing to know. The way The way, I wouldn't say the way around that, but one thing to think about, if you have like a really complicated page you need multiple people on, you can use viewports and page collections, to where we kind of refer to page collections internally as extension points. So it would let you, like, a page collection is a separate record. So somebody could be working on the page collection that just shows up in this one spot on the page, and somebody else could be working on the page.
You're right. Okay, so you know how sometimes you just kind of do things because it makes sense and it works, and you never really read what you're copying and pasting. So, hey, look, the name is actually in this thing. So now that lookup record is gone, of course, it's going to be broken. I do need to update this here. You're right.
Yeah, so the data binding works by name. So with a data resource, if you're going to rename it, you should rename it right when you create it. For like components, if you're going to rename a component, you really only need to rename the label, not the ID, because you never refer to components by ID. But yeah, data resources, you should rename them immediately.
I wish that was more kind of like an flow designer where everything's an app pill.
Yes.
So let's go back into, oh no, wait, we need to go to our data resource now. So I want this one to be lookup items. Don't worry, when I'm driving, we will rename our data resources. We're not just gonna Brad it up in here.
Right. I like to just say rename them, but not actually do it. Future Brad. I hate that guy.
It's future Brad's problem. So now, man, this is a wonderfully named table. Whoever named this table is something else.
I run into that every now and then too. Like, why did I name a table with the most common word in ServiceNow? Do you know your app scope? You could just start with that. That's right.
Ah!
There you go.
Amazing. Okay, so I've got my duct tape, my tarp, how to get away with murder. Perfect. Everything's here.
You probably have too much stuff though, right? Are you going to get there? There's no filters on this table, so you're pulling everything from everyone's wish list right now.
Oh, okay. So then let me see where I would.
So if you go to edit conditions,
look at that. And I'm going to have wish list is, then can I do data here?
You cannot do item.value here because it's not within the repeater.
We're outside of the repeater.
Reference. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to need to use a client state parameter somewhere. So when they click on the card, you'll take that item.value.sysid of whatever wish list you're on, and you'll write that to the card. And then you'll take that sysid from the client state parameter and use it in the conditions to know which wish list you're on. So the client state is like the page's scratch pad. So you're just, right now, this is like the wish list ID or something like that. It's got
I have to make it
camel case. Camel case is the, it may yell at you if you try to use an underscore. Yeah.
Let's try it.
Oh, it didn't.
It's a string. It should?
When you make the underscore go away, it makes me really, thank you. I can handle it.
Just for you. So is this where I bind the data? Or do I bind it from the event?
And there's an event handler where you can set a client state parameter. And so on that card click, there's an update client state parameter. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So on this event, this has the context of what item you're in, right? So this event knows where you are in the repeater, but once you get outside of this, then you don't know. So I think you want row data. And then like unique value maybe.
Can I click around? No, I can't click around.
It is unique. Yeah,
It
rotate
is.
value.
So client state parameter item dot value dot row data dot unique value add. Is there any way for me to log that and see if it's working?
You would have to write a client script that logs it. I would just go ahead and try to use it at this point because you'll know pretty quickly whether it's working.
Okay, so then we have to go back to the modal.
First, you have to, in your data resource, you need to update the condition to look at your client state parameter.
Right. Thank you. So glad you remembered that because my notes are awfully written and very short.
That's just somebody who's done this wrong a whole lot of times before I remembered how to do it right.
So I'm going to do this. And wait, how do I access my client state parameters?
So backspace and type the add again, and I think it'll give you some choices.
Oh, no. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
At state? Ah, neat. You know, actually, this does a lot of it for you. UI Builder seems really, really scary, like really scary. But it does a lot of it for you. If you just remember to erase the at button. Okay, I've got a condition.
Another thing I would do here, and this is going to work either way, but if you scroll up in the config panel, there's when to evaluate this data resource. And so when it's immediately, it'll get evaluated on page load, and anytime there are other events that might trigger all of these data resources that are eager to get evaluated. And then anytime any property changes, it'll get evaluated. And I would change it to invoked explicit. And so now when you want this data, you just tell it that now I want this data. And this is the only time it'll make that server call. So it probably doesn't really matter on this page, but there are pages where that does really matter because maybe you're pulling a whole lot of data back and you don't want to pull a whole lot of data back a bunch of times.
Makes sense. So now I have looked up my items. I am in my modal, but I'm not in my container. So how do I get my...
You want your list of items. So on the left, your modal. So if you go to the left tree where it says custom one.
Yes.
So I would click on that and rename it. So modals don't have a great default naming convention. So I would rename that to, whatever items modal or whatever you want to name it. Yeah, the ID doesn't matter quite as much. And then that body one is the middle section if you want to add something in the middle. And so
let's do the heading first. I want this to be the name of my wish list.
Yeah.
So where is that currently stored?
I think that's data. It's not going to work right now, but
because
the data resource that's returning this doesn't know which one it's returning yet.
So do I need another client state parameter for this heading?
No. So if you go, if you do data dot what is it? The data resource name. I don't know why that's not working, but use my favorite copy button. Oh, that's the other one though.
How do we
go to look up items data resource and then do the copy there. Oh, but it doesn't have the name of the one that you selected.
Yeah, it doesn't have the one that I selected. It isn't like...
Is
It
there
is a client state parameter, right?
Yeah, so you could do this a couple of ways. One of them would be just to add the return fields. Just add like that reference field that's referencing from the item to the wish list. There's like a wish list name reference field. You could add that to this data resource, or you could use a client state parameter and just write to the client state parameter.
Oh, I see. So let's go ahead and add the field then.
Yeah.
So wish list and then name.
Mm-hmm. And then now you also need to add. No, you already have name there, so I think you're good.
Awesome. So now it's item, or it's a context.
It's data.
Data. Results dot.
I think you have to do. Oh yeah, you can go. So go results and then 0, and then because they're all going to be the same.
What does 0 do?
It just returns the first element in the array. I think that's how you do the 0. I can't remember whether it's whether you need brackets. Well, yeah. No,
brackets.
That's not gonna be it. I can test that while you're doing this.
And then I'm going to do wish list dot display value. I'm going to hit save. Page says it's just 0.
Results dot 0 dot. I think we need wish list in there. Oh, but we're not going to get anything because
we haven't even done the event yet. Ha! So back to the card, back to this. It's another event handler, right?
Yes.
And then here, let me see if Modal just shows. Here we go.
We still see your rendered page.
Gasp. Oh, thank you.
So you want open or close modal dialog.
Oh, okay.
And then you want to toggle that to open, which I always forget to do. And then go to the modal dropdown. And then you just, and that's it.
Awesome. So I'm going to hit add. I'm going to hit save. We're going to actually share this tab now. We're going to hit refresh. Going through it like this is really making a lot of sense. But when I click, nothing happens. How do I troubleshoot this? Can I log anything? Yeah, it doesn't look clickable.
It doesn't even look like the card is clickable, period. Go back. So card clicked. I don't know that event is generating when you click. We might have to add a button that you click on.
Oh.
So my theory is that this event is not getting generated. We could write a client script and console log it. I just don't think that client script is going to fire.
I can't just copy the event handlers, can I?
No, you cannot.
Darn.
Yeah, let me look up that real quick.
So I'm going to add in open or close modal. I'm going to select my items list. It's defined on the card base container component.
Yeah.
No way, I did not forget to do that. Hang on. Ailey, I did not. Okay, I didn't forget to do that. Man, y'all got no faith, but I don't blame you. I do want to update client parameter. Oh, on the button. Okay.
Nope.
Thank y'all.
You had it.
Chat got me distracted. And then this was item dot.
Hold on. Go back to the card-based container and go to config.
Sure. Oh, is there a clickable? Is clickable thing?
I think there
it is.
Interaction. Yeah. You know how I found that? In the component documentation. So
the documentation.
There we go. All right.
It worked halfway.
We could get the modal to open.
We got the modal.
Oh, you know what we have to do? Go back to UIB. We have to tell the data resource to go fetch data.
Oh, is that also an event handler?
It is. Yeah, if you click the X and then just scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. Let's delete the that's all you need. So it just has a refresh event, and all you're telling it to do is refresh. Or get its data.
Selecting the wish list, and then we're looking up the items, and the condition has selected wish list. So let's try it. Yes, John. It's because we set it to explicitly, I believe.
Mostly, yes. Oh, man.
Well, hang on. Did we put anything in there?
Do it again and then let it sit for a couple of seconds, because the order we did it in is a little odd. All right. That's probably done.
And we do have a header in here, data.lookupitems.results. Let's just do results.
So let's just add the client state parameter here just to make sure that we're setting that correctly. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we did get that right.
Click on the other one to make sure they're different.
They are. Awesome.
Yeah, so that looks right. So it's really whatever the string to get the dot walking.
Oh, I think it's because I forgot name.
Ooh.
Hang on. That was it. But no, hang on. I want the wish list name.
Yeah. We're still looking at your runtime page.
Thank you. See, this is why we need two people on these types of things.
It was actually a page that said it.
Oh, I don't want to thank her.
All right. Well, you're welcome.
Wishlist. Thank you, Brad.
Wishlist display value, I think it's probably.
Oh, display value, yeah. It works.
Oh, that's right, because it's in UIB. These data resources will just, like, if you don't specify anything, it'll just go get some records so you can use it as
I really appreciate these previews like you wouldn't believe.
I love that, yeah.
So now I want to do a repeater. Or can I use a list?
You can use a list.
Should I use a list? A list. Oh my God, my accent.
So this is a good question. Whether you want to use a list or a repeater really depends on what you want to do inside of it and how you want it to look. So if you use like a simple list, it's going to look like a ServiceNow workspace list. But if you want more control over how it's going to look visually, you might want to use a repeater. And especially if you're just going to, Like if you wanted to use cards or have it look a lot different, then a repeater might be the right way to go. But a list is probably an easier way to do it.
Right, but I need the pictures to show up, so I want to do a repeater.
Ooh, the pictures are not going to show up in the list, I don't think.
I would believe that. So, okay, I have another repeater. Wait, where? Okay, there it is, a repeater. And then I want a card. Then inside the card, I want image. And now I'm gonna go and remove. I do wish, didn't it used to ask you if you wanted a preset before?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing that here.
Okay, so image. So now I can do item.value.
Data. Oh, you need to tell your data resource.
Oh, I gotta tell my repeater what.
Well, I don't think you're getting any images from your wish list right now.
I'm not.
Do you have an image for each item in the wish list?
I have an image for each item, yes.
So your this data resource that's grabbing items, you need to tell it that you want that image field. But I do really like how UIB handles images, because so you've grabbed these things, and that image component, all it needs is that display value of the image field, and it'll display the image. So it's kind of a nice way to show images. So I think
so if I set any return fields, it only returns those fields?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was in addition to what it already returned. Gotcha.
It's always going to return whatever the display value is and the sys-ID, and then after that, so if there's like I think if you don't specify any fields, it returns whatever the display field is on the record.
Now is it item.value or is it data?
Data. You gotta, yeah.
There we go.
Should do that automatically when you.
Lookup items. Results. .0.image. Display value, right?
Yep.
Because that's the one that has the.
Yep.
There we go. Duct tape. Fantastic. And now I want to add a heading here too. And I want. Oops.
I do have some questions about the items in your wish list.
Whatever do you mean? Let's take a look at my wish list here in a second and see if you still have those concerns.
All right.
So I need the.
I didn't say concerns. I just said questions.
That display value. Okay. And I want my heading to be above the image. I can't drag and drop?
Oh, you can't drag and drop in a modal. It's
what?
Yeah, I found this out the other day. Actually, I had no idea. So you can sort of drag and drop in the preview pane in the middle. So if you close out the data resource panel, I think you'll be able to change them if you take that and just pull it up.
Oh, thank goodness.
So, but the content tree doesn't support drag and drop within the modal. That's a good. I meant to ask somebody why that was, and I forgot. So I'm going to take a note of it.
Okay. So now we've got this. And I wonder if I can make my card base size small. Now here's the question. Can I change the size of my modal itself? I can.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. That's amazing. I can't tell you how many times customers have asked me to do that, and it just makes me cry. Fantastic. So now let's see what things look like here.
And so a quick, I don't know that we've actually mentioned, but in a repeater, we only show the first item in UI Builder, and that's mostly for performance reasons. Because if you have like 50 items, UI Builder is a lot heavier than the actual runtime is. So we're only showing the first item.
Now let's see what happens. Now, he shouldn't have any items, so this is right. Oh.
So many duct tapes.
So many duct tapes. Why are there all these duct tapes?
Well, let's go look.
Is it because I hard-coded the 0? Oh.
Oh, did you do the 0? I didn't even catch that.
I did the 0. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so for this is item.value. I may have said not to do item.value here now that I'm thinking.
Okay, that's what I thought.
This is on me. This one's me.
Okay.
So we're inside another repeater now.
Yes. That's why I kept going back to it.
I don't think you need results, though. I think, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome. So now let's see. I promise, guys, it's not all duct tape. And hang on. First, I want to figure out why my repeater. Oh, no, this has to be like this. And it's the repeater that I have to change the style of.
Yeah, so enable styles. Yep, there you go.
And do this.
Or you could make a grid. Either way works. The grid, you tell it how many columns you want it to have.
Oh, cool.
And then you can just put 1 for row and it'll repeat.
It'll repeat? Awesome. Yeah. So I want to do that with that one. And then I want to do the same thing here with this repeater.
Wow. Shots fired from Greg in the chat. We'll take it.
Oh, dang. Okay, so now let's see how things are looking. Perfect. Beautiful. There we go.
There we go.
My birthday wish list.
Now I understand.
Perfect. See, everything's normal. It's a bounce house. So now, wow, this is actually perfectly timed to be a good stopping point.
Nice.
Fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about, Earl.
We can, if you go back to UIB and add, we should add a gap in between the repeater. Both the repeaters. If you just click on repeater and then I think it's in the config, right? Oh no, you have it. No, that's it.
Oh, okay. Right. You guys are seeing it. Cool. I thought for a second I wasn't sharing. There we go. Look at that. This looks amazing. So professional. Fantastic. Yeah, I hear pig farms are great this time of year. Awesome. So next episode. Now, something important to note is that these shows are now officially scheduled on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month. So next episode is going to be on Thursday, July 27th, and we're going to have part 2 of the Gabi Birthdaystravaganza event, where I continue to try to do things. Now, what was the total of today? My favorite part is that I didn't announce every time I was using a Brad lifeline. So y'all probably don't know the real count. If anyone wants a count, you should put it in the comments once the VOD goes up.
I mean, I don't know how many lifelines you use. I just butted in a lot. So that was whether it was necessary or not, and sometimes incorrectly. So yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I didn't realize we were going to get sabotage from Brad of all people.
Yeah, sorry.
So Thursdays, the second and fourth Thursday of every month is going to be You and I Builder Live. And remember, the third Wednesday of every month is our Next Experience Academy. This is basically the schedule for our monthly shows. And the Next Experience Academy is a little bit less technical. It doesn't go as in-depth, but it's a great place to learn new concepts. And this month is being led by Brad. It's going to be tons of fun.
This one will be a little bit more technical. We're going to do UI Builder and Workspaces tips and tricks. So lots of little things. And here's how you do a little thing in UI Builder. And we may do, we had that question about, what was it from the beginning? About, oh yeah, how do you get basically properties from a parent page into a sub-page page collection? So
there you go. You got one viewer.
Yeah. So yeah, I think are we good? Are we done?
Yeah. Next time, next You and I Builder Live, you have something fun to look forward to. Let's see if I can figure out how to make a dibbing system so people can dib what items they want to gift me for my birthday.
Nice. And then
I have no idea.
I'm sure once we pass Gabby's birthday month and we get into August, we will start doing some Vancouver stuff. So that'll be good. There's some exciting things in Vancouver that we'll be ready to show off.
That sounds like a great idea. We should do this every year. Perfect. We'll have the birthday month and then the release month. So yes. Do you want to go ahead and do the closing too, since you did the opening.
All right. Sounds good. We didn't talk about the closing before. So yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. Next Experience Academy will be next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. And then 2 weeks from now, same time, we will do another You and I Builder Live. Thanks everybody for joining us, and happy birthday month to Gabi. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye. Thank you.